Dude.
This was way too short for that.
Way too short.
It's a good brake test, right?
The brakes work.
Follow the proper brake fitting procedure.
Make sure you follow the proper brake fitting procedure. What's up guys, Javier from That Racing Channel. Welcome back to another episode of the TRC Work Truck Project. Today we are in Bradenton, Florida at TBM Brakes. We're here visiting Brett Lasala and the guys over at Motion Raceworks. We're gonna be installing TBM race brakes on the work truck. In the last episode, you saw this thing on the hub dyno. It made north of 1,700 horsepower. We are absolutely blown away. We had no idea it was gonna make that much power. We couldn't be more stoked with the combo. The FFRE heart, the twin 64 next gen turbos. We got Lund on the keys and RSA with that spicy transmission build. So far, the project is freaking awesome. Once we install the brakes, we're also gonna take Brett and the boys out for a little spin on the street and we're gonna turn the truck up. So we haven't really made any full street hits yet. It's gonna be a fun one. Let's get into it. Brett, what's up, my man?
Hey, Javier.
So good to see you, brother.
Yeah, you too.
We're here at TBM Brakes in Bradenton, Florida.
Yeah, you know, beginning of the year, I started working for Motion Raceworks for Doug Cook. I'm the business development manager. And right away, I think we were on the phone with each other like, hey, we need to get some motion parts on your next build. And,
I need some brakes.
Yeah, right. And which you may or may not know, well, you know now, obviously, but Motion Raceworks owns TBM Brakes, Rife Sensors, and then Fluidworks, another company that we've started with oil pump and fuel pump stuff. But today we're at our Bradenton facility. The rest of the companies are in Iowa, and we're gonna check out some brakes.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah. Let's do it. So I guess you're gonna walk us through on what the manufacturing process is for the race brakes and now the new street brakes, right?
Right, street brakes launched last month, and the race brakes and the street brakes are all made here basically from scratch, raw material in, shipped out to, to the customer. So we're gonna be able to go through the stations and you guys can see how it's made.
Heck yeah, man. And then a little treat for everybody is after we see how they're made, we're gonna install them on the work truck.
That's right, that's right. And man, I'm excited. I haven't even seen the turbo set up yet. So, I know we helped spec it all out. I'm really excited to see how it came out.
Yeah, man. So when we pull it in, we'll poke around and we'll also, go for a little rip. We gotta take you for a rip. We can't come all the way out here.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're the Coyote man, so it's like we gotta get the stamp of approval.
That's right.
Cool, man. All right, well, what's first?
Well, first is basically raw material. So the material comes in from our supplier. If it's a square stock or a round stock, depending on what it's going to turn into. So everything's made here, like I said. So it's going to be a rotor hat, a rotor hub, the calipers themselves, or the brackets that hold the caliper to the car. So it's going to come in the general shape of what it's going to turn into. We cut it on the saw. Our engineers have the programs built, goes on the CNC machines, moves through the building.
Awesome. So I think right back here?
Yeah. So this is basically the aluminum stock that we have. The different materials needed and thicknesses and sizes for each part that we're manufacturing.
Sweet, man, sweet.
So after raw material comes in, depending on what our machining schedule is for that day or that week, the material that we are going to machine comes to the saw to be cut into its rough shape. So right now there's a piece of flat stock in there. This is an animated saw, so all the sizes are already set. Employee loads the material in the saw, we hit the button, it runs through it. So we have 5 machines currently at TBM. Right behind me is our dual spindle Mazak machines where it makes rotor hats and rotor hubs. This machine will do a handoff inside a machine both sides of the part. So this is our rotor hat that is cutting right now, the raw piece that will go in, and then a finished machine piece will come out and ready for coating or plating depending on if it's a street brake or a race brake. This is one of our mills. On the mill mainly is making caliper brackets. So basically depending on which program it's loaded with is which bracket for which car it's going to fit to. Piece of raw comes in, a finished part comes out. On this machine, the calipers are made. Gary's our robot. He might be a little camera shy right now, but maybe he'll start running in the background. Basically, the raw caliper blanks get machined over here, and then they're loaded into these trays. Gary will then take them out of the tray, load them in the machines for the final machining, and then put them back in the tray. And Gary will run 24/7. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So no lunch breaks for Gary. You guys just run.
No, the worst thing, he's got an Instagram that stays pretty steady, but other than that, he's just always in here working. I'll come in on the weekends to work on my car, and Gary, all the lights are off, Gary's on, he's running. All right, so we're at our lathe now. On this lathe, he cuts stainless steel. So we make all of the pistons for our calipers, race calipers and street calipers, different sizes depending on the caliper that's in use, and also transfer tubes and any of the stainless parts for our race brakes and street brakes. So here we have the finished machine caliper halves getting ready to go out to coating. These are after the machining process is done, inside and out. They'll now go off to powder coating because this is a street brake caliper, then it'll come back here for assembly. Here's some of our inventory. This is a street brake hub. All of our street brake kits, the hubs and hats are anodized black. The race brakes are plated. They're actually nickel plated. So you'll see the color difference between the two. It's a good visual aid to know, which one you're looking at. But this is one of the final hubs that have been machined on the Mazak, inside and out. They'll take the bearing races in here, rotor adapter and hat will bolt onto here, and then your wheel studs will go through there. All right, so after the parts are machined and coated, this is our caliper assembly area. Here our technicians assemble the calipers, and we have a test stand that every single caliper goes on. It gets pressure tested with brake fluid to make sure there's no leak, and that it passes the test, and then it gets boxed up and ready for shipping. We also have remanufacturing back here. If you have some calipers that you want to get serviced or just checked out, you can get with us, send them in. We test them, we rebuild them, and that way you don't have to buy a new caliper. So for our street brakes, we laser etch the logo in it. This is our laser. Set the caliper half up in there, and then he goes to town. So the parts are machined, they're assembled, they're coated, they come into our inventory system, and then the kits are assembled depending on what it goes to for each vehicle. Kits are assembled in this area, stored back here, and basically ready once the customer orders it, goes out the door. So I have a few examples of our brake kits that we have offering that are a little different than what we're going to be putting on your F-150. This would be somewhere of like a full, the lightest you can go on a race kit. Like this is basically like what's on my car. So this is a hub mount bearing that would go onto a pin if you had a spindle mount strut, or if the vehicle came with a normal pin, where the bearing setup's on the hub. It's a very small, lightweight rotor, and uses a 2-piston caliper on the front. So you can see this guy compared to the 4-piston, it's obviously going to be lighter. And one of the theories with a drag car is you only have a 4.5-inch front tire. This 2-piston caliper is going to give you more than enough stopping power than that tire can physically hold traction to the ground. So we put bigger caliper on the rear of the car where you have the most tire available to get the car stopped. I've stopped my car plenty of times, not willingly, at close to 200 miles an hour with no parachutes with this brake setup. The stopping power is just amazing. The way the rotors are designed, they don't warp, they hold heat, and you just have braking power throughout the run. And then down the table we come to the new street brake lineup, which utilizes the same technology of the calipers as the race brakes. So the piston technology that we've developed with the race brakes is moved right down to the street brakes. So it's a tried and true caliper that has incredible clamping force. I just put a set on an S550 Mustang, and I was shocked. I literally was, of how powerful the brakes were. The calipers, we have multiple colors available on the website, and then this is the rotor example, and then this is the hat style rotor that would go over a modern car. The rotor would bolt to the hat, slide over the hub or the rear, and then this is the hub style. Our race brakes have been out for a long time, and a lot of people know them. The street brakes is our new products that we launched last month, and we currently have kits available for GM muscle car, Mustang 2, S550, Cadillac CTS-V, and we're getting inquiries for basically every late model car. We're in development right now. S197's done, New Edge is behind it, Camaro, you name it, we're building kits for it. So just watch out for the next few months, and if you have a car, it's probably going to be available for it. And if you have a request, shoot us a message or an email, and we'll see if it's in our line. We can give you a date when it's going to roll out. But these brakes are, on the Mustang, for example, it was 58 pounds lighter than the stock brake on the front, and I felt like the car stopped better with the small brake. It's a 12-inch rotor. You can fit a flat face wheel, which also saves you a lot of weight, because on a stock brake, you got to run like an RTS style weld skinny on the front compared to like a Lumistar that has a flat hub. So I mean, you can save even more weight on the wheel setup. Clears just about every 15-inch wheel, single bead locks, and yeah, it's wonderful. All right, so that was a really quick, basic tour of the facility. You got to see the steps from the beginning pretty much to the end. And now we're gonna go ahead and get your brake kit for your truck and get them put on.
Let's do it, man. Here she is, man.
All right, time to see the goods?
Yeah, time to see the goods. Something that you are very familiar with.
Starting to look more and more familiar in here. Oh yeah,
Man.
64s?
Next gen 64, 66.
It's the perfect Coyote Turbo. Obviously run really large stuff in my car and I ran everything from small in between, but when the next gen 64 came out, I'm like, I wanted to buy another car just to get a set because the spool time and then the end power number you can make with that on this engine platform is just awesome. Right.
Thing made 1,700 on 35 pounds.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
awesome. And the Gen 3 engines, I mean, obviously Fast Forward has their stuff together, their program.
I mean, I can't thank those guys enough.
It's
Like,
the Coyote end all. I mean, we've taken it so far with my car and the development of like, and everything's so well documented. And like, you know, we pull the engines out, we change a part, like I was just telling you, you know, we'll change a part and then pull it out after 10 passes and check it out. Like, because, you know, I put in the work, Joe and his guys put in the work, and this is the result. They'll just hand you an engine that, you know, 1,700, go do what you got to do.
I mean, Joe wasn't kidding. He was like, he was so like nonchalant about it. He's like, yeah, go have fun with it. Make 2,000.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Right. Like, yeah, it'd be fine. You know,
It's crazy.
It'd be fine.
Oh man,
it's cool.
So yeah, so now we got the horsepower, right? Now we need some stopping power now, right? And we need to shed some weight, essentially, right? So
well, in the stock 2-piston caliper doesn't have a lot of stopping power because the truck was designed to stop from 80 miles an hour, not 150.
Work truck.
Or whatever you're gonna be going.
Work truck, yeah.
Right, and not only that, just the pad material and the rotor material, like they're just not, that's not what it was made for, right? Ford's designed it to drive this many miles without needing a brake change for this much mile per hour. And you know, now with the, you know, the brakes we're going to put on the truck is specifically designed for what you're going to do with it.
Oh yeah.
It's going to shave a ton of weight, and and half of that's going to be rotating weight. So then, you know, that multiplies.
Oh yeah.
You're going to have great stopping power and get you where you need to go.
Dude, I'm ready for it, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Golly.
Damn, she fat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, we need to.
Yeah, we need more than just brakes if you want to die.
Do you have the stock motor in the bed? What is it?
45,
37.
Bad boy on here.
About 29, 30 pounds. Yep, 29 pounds. Damn. 50 pounds.
50 pounds.
50 pounds, dude.
Yeah. I think we're gonna be lighter. Let's get the TBM rotor assembled to the hat, and then we'll get that weight up.
Heck yeah, man. Let's do it.
So this is the brake kit for your truck. So this is our F150 brake kit for the F3 calipers. Use a 4-piston F3 race caliper, convoluted steel rotor. It's 2 brackets. You're just going to bolt right up like your stock caliper did, and then our caliper will bolt on. This is the rotor hat. We'll assemble the rotor to the rotor hat and slide it on the truck. It's pretty easy.
Heck yeah, man. Weight savings, here we come.
That's it. And that's it. It's ready to install on the truck. Let's weigh it first. 0. First rotor was 30.
9 pounds, dude.
How did this start? Our caliper.
That's wild. That's. Hold on. Is that malfunctioning?
Well,
Was that 3 pounds? Oh my god.
Well, and
Yeah, it's 3 pounds.
And really the magic's in this caliper. The technology that's behind this caliper, that this is rigid in the plating and everything that's in it. It's a solid piece. It doesn't have any deflection, and that's what's able to run this style of rotor and keep the pad square and keep the pad wear there. This is, wait till you feel the brakes. Like this little guy here is magic. All right, let's get the rest of the stuff in there. Pads,
Nice.
and we got a couple bolts. We weighed the bolts on the last one. We got to give it a fair shot.
Yeah, give it a fair shot. Give it a fair shot.
Not that it's probably even a pound, but we'll.
And the grand total is 14 pounds. Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I mean, even if you just consider like dollars per pounds when it comes to weight savings on vehicles, not only are you upgrading a part that's going to function properly for what you're using it for, like even if you forgot all of that and you're going to save, you know, we do the math of how much we're saving here, 60 pounds or so in the front.
Yep.
You know, it's awesome.
That's nuts, dude. The OEM stuff was 50 pounds.
50 pounds.
Dude,
So
that's
these are
huge difference.
14, 36 pounds each side,
That's wild.
72 pounds total.
72 pounds.
And most of that was rotating weight also.
Exactly.
So you multiply that, and
That's nuts, dude.
you're 100 pounds or so, probably realistically, of weight savings with the rotating weight.
Dude, that is so freaking sick. I mean, I know at certain levels of trying to, like you said, dollar cost per pound you're trying to save. I mean, I've seen guys spend $3,000 to save 20 pounds.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
or you buy a carbon hood that
Yeah.
saves 10 pounds on a new vehicle
Yeah.
or something like that, you know, and then now you're going to have a proper racing brake to stop you at the speeds you're going.
Yeah, man.
And save the weight.
Dude,
It's cool.
That is sick. It's hard to believe this. All these parts here only weigh 14 pounds. That is pretty cool technology, man.
Yeah.
Let's get these things installed, dude.
Okay, so we bolted our new caliper bracket on. We cleaned our factory hub. We slid the rotor on. I used a couple spacers and the wheel nuts to bolt the rotor up flat to simulate the wheel being on. Because we're going to install our caliper now. We're going to put our brake pads in and we're going to check our pad spacing. It's crucial for the caliper to be spaced perfectly between the rotor so the pads are even on the front side and the back side. There's shims that are included with the kit, 10 thousandths and 30 thousandths. If it needs adjustments, you're going to place the shim between the caliper and the bracket to move the caliper on the rotor to make sure the pads are centered. This is going to promote even pad wear, and on the TBM F3 brakes, this is a zero drag brake system. So when you let off the brake pedal, the pads actually come off the rotor slightly so they don't drag for maximum performance. You don't want your brakes dragging, it's going to slow you down, right? But if it's not spaced evenly, you might have one pad dragging all the time. It's going to wear that pad out or so. So again, this is just a crucial step we're going to do. Slide the caliper on, put the pads in, check our spacing. So you can see here how the forward outboard pad barely has any air gap between the pad and the rotor, and the inside pad has a large air gap there. So we're going to start off with a 10,000 shim between the caliper and the bracket. Shift the caliper over, see how it goes. So we installed our shim, and now you can see that we have even pad spacing to the rotor on the inboard and the outboard pad. We'll put our retaining pin in and it's good to go. So this vehicle being all-wheel drive, we can't really do our low drag spin test that we usually do, but maybe we'll go over to my car and show you that on a brake that's been on there for over a year now with multiple full passes. So, you know, to me, a used brake spin test is more valuable than a brand new brake spin test anyway, because obviously the pistons have never been out. But you can see in our little play here, the pads, once you even start using the brakes, once they're down, like these wheels just going to spin free. So there's going to be no resistance from the pad.
That's awesome.
Is in the caliper technology and in the steel rotor technology. This TBM convoluted steel rotor is really the ticket to this whole deal. Like I mentioned earlier about the caliper and the rotor together is where the magic happens. This thing can withstand multiple extreme heat cycles without cracking, without warping. It's going to expand and grow and then shrink back down, and that's what it's designed to do. I mean, to the point to where if you smear the pads on the rotor, like you see it's like hot spotted almost, and you see pad material on there because your parachute didn't work and you had an extreme braking situation, I mean, you just take some 80 grit to the rotor and then a new set of pads, and then you're just back in business. You'll never have to replace this rotor.
That's freaking awesome. So is that like one of the biggest differences between this and like maybe the street brake, or?
Right, exactly. So the street brake is a standard cast rotor. It's a vented rotor, right? So this is designed for street use. It's in the name. Now you can street drive these all the time as well, right? So the cast rotor, though, if you get in that extreme heat situation, it's going to tend to warp or crack, as you'd be familiar with basically any other rotor brand in existence, including like a factory rotor is a cast rotor. So on a vehicle that you know you're going into the situation with cold brakes, right? You just started it up, you're on the starting line, and now you need to stop with cold brakes. You know, so you're going from cold to high temperature in that short period of time, where, you know, most brakes will want to warm them up or get them in their range. The race brake is designed for racing. So the pad compound, the rotor material, the system was designed for a drag race type use, to where you're going to be from zero heat to maximum heat within a short, you know, one braking cycle, and then you'll have time to cool that off. You know, the vented rotor for street driving is going to cool faster and always kind of, you know, be that same temperature range and material, because, you know, you have a similar driving situation happening all the time compared to the race brake. Like I said, these brakes have been used for, I mean, as long as I've been racing this car with these wheels. And there we are. That's our no drag used set of brakes. Been raced multiple times, 200-mile-an-hour stops. When you go up to the starting line, your brakes aren't going to be dragging. One thing we're putting on your truck that we're pretty excited that we're releasing very soon is our dual line lock kits for our late model vehicles. So these are going to be vehicle specific dual line lock kits that will just bolt right on with the bracket, and the brake lines will go right onto your stock lines. You get the TRC exclusive with a 3D printed bracket. The metal ones aren't made yet, but we're going to go ahead and put them on your truck here. So what you'll get in the kit is 2 of our TBM line lock valves, 1 on each side, an adapter fitting. The stock brake line will screw directly into the line lock. It'll bolt up to a factory bolt location, and we'll use a -3 stainless line to feed the caliper. So with this, no external plumbing is needed. You don't have to cut any of your lines. Basically, bolt it on, wire in a button, do some burnouts.
We're gonna go 4488.
Well, now you can't show it.
Pick it up with hair. There you go. Perfect.
There we go. 4138. She's light, y'all.
Woo, man, those brakes, dude.
So it's the rotating weight.
Yeah. Rotating weight. You multiply the 2, you minus the 1, you save 200 pounds.
Yep. All right, come get this quick.
All right.
We're at 4483.
Oh,
fuck. 4485.
All
All right,
So we got 4485. One thing we didn't take into account last time was gas. So this thing is full. We just filled it up. We knew we were going to make hits, so we just filled it up. It is full. I think it's like 23 gallons.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of weight in fuel. So let's say probably like 100, 125 pounds with a race weight amount of fuel. It's probably in that 4350 range. It's not too bad.
No, I mean, accompany that with 1700 horsepower.
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna rip.
So that means the brakes were able to help us get into that 4300 range.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we saw this 70 pounds.
70 pounds. I think it's time to go test these things.
Yeah, let's go try them out.
Make a rip, stomp on the brakes, make another rip, turn up the boost.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Alright guys, so I think there's so much stopping power here that we're just dragging the front end on the ground. That front lip is just...
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah, it's super low. Here, let's see.
It stops quick,
It stops f***ing quick, dude. This is sick, dude. I'm gonna do a side
Yeah, it's like they're gonna scare when it jacks to the ground. They're gonna think the front end's falling off.
Brakes work. Brakes work.
Yeah, it's good.
Brake boost nice.
Should we? Yeah. A little brake boost?
Turbos now.
Yeah, bro. I guess, right?
You at least gotta give it something.
I
Otherwise
know,
it's gonna
dude.
like that.
Well, we don't have much space here, so I think I'm just gonna mat it.
It's a good brake test, right?
The brakes work. That caught me off guard, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because the lag was lagging, and we're just kind of cruising, and then
that stop sign was coming.
Then
Let's just like go out here somewhere real quick. That was not the road for that. Actually, I should say that was the perfect road for the brake test. Oh my god, that was awesome. Dude, when this thing it hangs, that's like a common 10R thing.
Yeah.
It hung a little bit. Obviously, when I let off, I was like, oh, brakes. Dude, this thing wants to eat, dude.
Yeah. Oh, it's hooked up, ready to roll.
This
like
thing
it just
wants
wanted
to eat, dude.
That was literally perfect though for the brake install, and then we stopped in time.
Dude,
stock
so
brakes
good.
might not have made that deal.
Oh no, we would have been, dude. I would have been buried in the brakes. Alright, second gear. Let's do this. This thing is riding, dude.
Oh, this thing is rowdy though. That was nice.
Dude, it was super nice. And it's hauling ass, but it wants more.
Yeah.
Like, it was
It's
straight,
hooked up.
it was hooked up, it wasn't fucking doing anything funky. So that setting 3 would probably add another 150 at least or something. I think that's gonna be like a nice sweet spot.
It's sick.
We definitely broke the brakes in, okay?
Yeah. For sure. Make sure you follow the proper brake bedding procedure.
Make sure you follow the proper brake bedding procedure.
But if you don't, they still work.
Make sure your face hits the dash.
That's gonna be the best opening clip ever.
Oh, yours.
Oh man, we were getting after it.
Everything feels much faster when you have a stop sign or something.
Yeah,
like an end
when you're accelerating to an end.
That's
Yeah.
coming up very quickly.
That's how I feel at the drag strip now. Like once the car got over 200, like 210 and 220, it's like you see the end.
At that level, when you're going like, bro, you're going like 220, 230 or whatever it is, you know, it's like you blink and then you're there.
Oh, for sure. And then naturally, like every racetrack stops putting lights after the finish line, so you're driving into the darkness at night, you know, and you can't really see the end. Like, yeah, knowing that you can stop is nice.
You've had a couple sketchy scenarios.
Yeah. Had a couple. I learned a lot about parachute and wing angle to make sure those work good. But everyone's just waiting.
The brakes work. The horsepower works. Dude, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the hospitality.
It was awesome.
Those brakes work, man.
Dude, they're sick. Yeah, we got an impromptu, real quick brake test on this road. That was a good pull.
The brakes are breaking.
Yeah. Brakes are breaking. Truck's awesome. Engine sounds good. Seems like everything's working already. I can't wait to do more hits with you on it and see it at the track.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys tagging along. In the next episode, we're going to do some more street testing, and we're going to prep this thing up to go to the track and see what the thing will run. Appreciate you guys tagging along. We'll catch you next time.